The vast, cold emptiness of space stretched out like an infinite black canvas, silent and unforgiving. In the distant quadrant of the Orion Arm, the Eldoran civilization faced its final moments of existence. Their once brilliant planetary system now trembled on the edge of complete annihilation. J. Park sat in her small research station, surrounded by screens that hummed with a soft electronic whisper. Her fingers, long and precise, moved across holographic interfaces, tracking anomalous signals that most would have dismissed as random space noise. She was different. Where others saw static, she saw patterns. The transmission came suddenly, a burst of quantum frequencies that seemed to pulse with desperation. Most sensors would have missed it, but Park's custom-built quantum receiver caught every nuanced vibration. The signal was unlike anything she had ever encountered. "What are you?" she whispered, her breath creating a small fog on the glass of her monitoring station. The transmission contained fragments of information, spatial coordinates, technological specifications, and what seemed like a plea. Bits of an alien language flickered across her screens, a complex tapestry of symbols that most linguists would spend years trying to decode. Outside her research facility, Seoul continued its bustling rhythm. Skyscrapers touched the night sky, and streets buzzed with the constant movement of people who had no idea that something extraordinary was unfolding in this small, dimly lit room. Park began recording, her hands moving with a mix of scientific precision and raw excitement. She knew this was more than just another random signal. This was a message of survival. The transmission spoke of a threat, a cosmic predator that consumed entire civilizations. It wasn't just a war or a simple conflict. This was existential destruction on a scale that human minds could barely comprehend. The Eldoran civilization was sending out a final desperate call for help. Most research institutions would require weeks, if not months, to even begin analyzing such a complex transmission. But Park was different. Her background in quantum mechanics, combined with an almost intuitive understanding of complex communication systems, allowed her to start decoding the message within hours. As dawn broke over Seoul, casting a soft orange light through the research facility's windows, Park realized the magnitude of what she was seeing. This wasn't just a scientific discovery. This was a potential turning point for humanity's understanding of the universe. The transmission contained technological blueprints, defensive strategies, and geographical information about the threat. It was as if the Eldoran civilization was offering humanity not just a distress signal, but a complete survival manual. Park knew she couldn't handle this alone. She would need a team, experts in linguistics, quantum physics, space exploration, and strategic defense. But who would believe her? The scientific community was often conservative, slow to accept radical new ideas. Her computer screens continued to display the alien transmission, each new decoded fragment revealing more about the imminent threat. The cosmic predator wasn't just a simple enemy. It was a quantum-based life form that could consume entire planetary systems, absorbing their energy and technological infrastructure. The Eldoran civilization had already lost most of its population. Their transmission was a last, desperate attempt to prevent total extinction. They were offering their entire technological knowledge to any civilization willing to listen and help. Park leaned back in her chair, her mind racing. She understood that this transmission could change everything. Humanity could either ignore it and continue its small, terrestrial existence, or it could step up and face a cosmic challenge that no known civilization had successfully confronted. Her phone buzzed. A message from her colleague, Dr. Min-Ho Lee, asking about her latest research. She hesitated, knowing that what she was about to share would sound completely insane. Outside, the city of Seoul continued its morning routine. Commuters rushed to work, street vendors prepared their first meals, and the world remained blissfully unaware that a small research team was about to receive the most important transmission in human history. J. Park took a deep breath. The first step would be to verify the transmission, to ensure it wasn't some elaborate technological hoax. But something in her gut told her this was real. This was humanity's moment to prove its worth in the vast, unknown universe. The quantum signal continued to pulse, a silent beacon of hope and desperation, waiting for someone to understand its message. The research facility buzzed with nervous energy. Jad Park stood before a group of skeptical scientists, her presentation displaying the alien transmission on large screens. Most of her colleagues looked unconvinced, their arms crossed, their expressions a mixture of doubt and mild amusement. Captain Hyun Kim watched from the back of the room. A former military strategist with a reputation for unconventional thinking, he saw something in Park's data that others missed. Where they saw impossible complexity, he saw a challenge waiting to be solved. "This isn't just another theoretical exercise," Park explained, her voice steady. "The transmission contains technological blueprints that could revolutionize our understanding of quantum mechanics and space travel." Dr. Yun Choi, a brilliant xenobiologist, began analyzing the linguistic patterns. Her fingers moved quickly across her tablet, breaking down the alien communication into smaller, more digestible components. She understood languages most scientists couldn't even imagine. The first week was the hardest. Government funding committees laughed. Military strategists called the entire concept a fantasy. But Park's team didn't give up. They worked in shifts, sometimes sleeping on the floor of their research facility, fueled by coffee and an unshakable belief in their mission. Soo Jin, the team's chief engineer, began designing impossible machines. Her workshop looked like a blend of a high-tech laboratory and a creative madhouse. Experimental spacecraft components hung from the ceiling. Quantum entanglement devices sat next to traditional engineering tools. "We need something they won't expect," Jin would mumble to herself, welding unusual metal components together. Her designs broke every known rule of traditional spacecraft engineering. The team's breakthrough came unexpectedly. During a late-night research session, Dr. Choi discovered a hidden pattern in the alien transmission, a complex mathematical sequence that suggested an advanced defensive technology unlike anything humans had ever conceived. Captain Kim saw the potential immediately. Where traditional military minds would see barriers, he saw opportunities. His background in strategic planning allowed him to view the alien information as a complex puzzle waiting to be solved. Funding became their biggest challenge. Traditional scientific institutions refused to support what they called a wild goose chase, but crowdfunding from scientific enthusiasts and space exploration believers kept their research alive. Social media played a surprising role. A viral video of Park explaining the transmission caught the attention of global tech entrepreneurs. Suddenly, private funding began to flow. Tech billionaires saw potential where government institutions saw only risk. Sung Ho Lee, their communications specialist, worked tirelessly to build a network of international support. He translated their research into digestible content, helping the public understand the potential significance of their work. The team's workspace transformed. What started as a small research room became a complex laboratory filled with experimental equipment. Strange machines that looked part scientific instrument, part artistic creation filled every available space. Months passed. Their initial team of 5 grew to 20, then 50. Scientists from different disciplines began to join, attracted by the revolutionary potential of their research. The alien transmission became more than just a scientific project. It became a symbol of human potential, a challenge that required creativity, determination, and a willingness to think beyond traditional boundaries. Captain Kim often reminded the team of their real goal. "We're not just decoding a message," he would say. "We're preparing to potentially save an entire civilization." As winter approached Seoul, the research facility worked around the clock. Complex quantum computers hummed. Experimental spacecraft designs took shape. The impossible was slowly becoming possible. No one knew if they would succeed, but everyone believed they had to try. The transmission waited, a silent reminder of the cosmic challenge that humanity was about to face. Something extraordinary was coming. And this small team in Seoul would be the first to answer the call. The modified research vessel, Hope, emerged from Earth's orbit, a strange combination of scientific equipment and improvised defensive systems. Its design defied traditional spacecraft engineering, looking more like a complex mathematical equation made physical than a typical spaceship. Captain Hyun Kim stood on the bridge, his eyes focused on the holographic star maps. Beside him, Sung-Ho Lee managed the communication systems, his hands moving with practiced precision across quantum communication interfaces. "We're entering the outer edges of the transmission's coordinates," Lee announced, his voice calm despite the immense significance of their journey. Dr. Jai Park monitored the quantum signature detection systems. Every sensor was calibrated to catch the slightest anomaly. They were approaching the territory of a civilization on the brink of total destruction, carrying humanity's first genuine attempt at interstellar rescue. The Hope moved differently from traditional spacecraft. Its quantum drive allowed for movements that seemed to bend the rules of conventional physics. Where other ships would make predictable trajectories, this vessel could shift and adapt almost instantaneously. Su Jin's engineering was revolutionary. She had integrated alien technological fragments from the transmission into their spacecraft's core systems. Each component was a carefully calculated risk, a piece of a complex puzzle that might save an entire civilization. Space around them looked different. The normal darkness was interrupted by strange energy signatures that most human sensors would have missed. But the Hope's modified systems could see the subtle quantum disturbances that indicated the presence of the cosmic predator. Detecting multiple quantum interference patterns, Dr. Yun Choi reported, her voice a mix of scientific excitement and calculated concern. "The threat is closer than our initial models predicted." Captain Kim understood what that meant. They weren't just approaching a battle. They were entering a zone where reality itself seemed unstable. The cosmic predator wasn't just a physical threat. It was a quantum phenomenon that consumed entire civilizations at a fundamental level. The Eldaran communication systems began to respond. Fragmented messages started appearing on their screens, desperate communications from a civilization watching its final moments approach. Each message was a complex tapestry of technological information and raw emotional plea. Sung-Ho Lee worked to stabilize the communication channels. His fingers moved across quantum communication interfaces, translating and interpreting signals that would have appeared as meaningless noise to any other human team. "They're surprised," Lee suddenly announced. They didn't expect anyone to actually respond to their transmission. The Hope approached the Eldaran planetary system. What they saw challenged everything humans understood about cosmic conflict. The cosmic predator wasn't a traditional enemy. It was a quantum-based life form that consumed entire civilizations, absorbing their technological and biological infrastructure. Dr. Park's research had prepared them for this moment. The transmission they had received months ago wasn't just a distress call. It was a comprehensive tactical guide left by a civilization, hoping someone might use their accumulated knowledge to survive. "Preparing quantum disruption protocols," Su Jin announced, activating experimental defense systems that looked more like complex mathematical equations than traditional weapons. The cosmic predator detected their approach. But instead of a traditional response, it encountered something it had never seen before. A species that didn't follow expected behavioral patterns. Humanity's first interstellar rescue mission was about to begin, and nothing in the universe's history had prepared the cosmic predator for what was coming. The Hope moved forward, a beacon of unexpected hope in the vast, dark emptiness of space. Behind their vessel, Earth waited. Ahead, an entire civilization's survival depended on their success. Captain Kim looked at his team. They were no longer just scientists and researchers. They were humanity's first true interstellar defenders. "Stay focused," he said quietly. "We're about to change everything." The quantum drives hummed. The Hope pressed forward. And the universe watched, waiting to see what would happen next. The cosmic predator's initial response was confusion. Humanity's approach defied every known pattern of galactic conflict. Where other civilizations had fallen through direct confrontation, the Hope moved with an unpredictability that seemed almost alive. Captain Hyun Kim watched the quantum interference patterns dancing across the ship's main screen. Each movement was calculated, but not in any traditional sense of military strategy. They were using the alien transmission's own technological insights against the Predator. Quantum disruption sequence activated, Soo-jin announced, her fingers dancing across complex control interfaces. The ship's systems weren't just defending. They were actively transforming, adapting with each microsecond of the encounter. Dr. J. Park monitored the cosmic Predator's response. It was a quantum-based entity that consumed civilizations by breaking down their fundamental technological and biological structures. But humanity was presenting something entirely unexpected. A defense mechanism that changed faster than the Predator could analyze. Sung-Ho Lee managed communication systems that interpreted the conflict in real time. What looked like random energy bursts to other sensors were complex communication patterns. The Hope wasn't just fighting. It was talking to the Predator in a language of pure quantum mechanics. The Eldarin observation systems watched in disbelief. Humanity was doing something no civilization had ever achieved. They were fighting a quantum entity by becoming more unpredictable than the threat itself. Dr. Yun Choi's xenobiological analysis revealed something extraordinary. The Hope wasn't just a spacecraft. It had become a living system, adapting and changing with each moment of the conflict. Traditional weapons were useless. They were using something far more powerful, pure adaptive intelligence. Quantum disruption waves pulsed from the ship. Each wave was a complex mathematical equation that rewrote the fundamental rules of the engagement. The cosmic Predator found itself facing an enemy that didn't follow any known rules of conflict. "We're not fighting," Captain Kim muttered, more to himself than to the crew. "We're solving a problem." The battle looked nothing like traditional warfare. Energy patterns shifted. Quantum states collapsed and reformed. The Hope moved in ways that seemed to break the fundamental laws of physics, creating interference patterns that confused and destabilized the cosmic Predator. Soo-jin's engineering was revolutionary. She had integrated alien technological fragments into their defensive systems, creating a hybrid technology that was part human innovation, part alien understanding. Each system was a living, breathing mathematical solution. Hours passed, but time seemed meaningless in this quantum battlefield. The cosmic Predator's fundamental structure began to break down. It was encountering something it had never experienced, an opponent that could think and adapt faster than its consumption mechanism could process. Sung-Ho Lee's communication systems began translating the conflict. They weren't just fighting. They were communicating. Every quantum pulse was a message, every energy wave a complex dialogue that the Predator couldn't understand. Dr. Park realized they were doing something unprecedented. They weren't destroying the cosmic Predator. They were solving the fundamental problem of its existence. Each quantum pulse was a complex mathematical solution that challenged the Predator's basic operational structure. The Eldarin observation systems recorded everything. Humanity was rewriting the rules of cosmic survival. Where other civilizations had fallen, they were demonstrating something extraordinary, the power of adaptive, creative problem-solving. As the conflict reached its critical point, the Hope seemed to become something more than a spacecraft. It was a living mathematical solution, a complex system that could think and adapt faster than the threat could consume. Captain Kim watched the final moments of the conflict. They weren't just saving the Eldarin civilization. They were demonstrating humanity's potential to the universe. The cosmic Predator's quantum structures began to collapse, not through destruction, but through a complete redefinition of its fundamental existence. "We did it," Sung-Ho Lee whispered, his hand still moving across the communication interfaces. The universe watched. Humanity had just changed everything. The silence after the conflict was profound. The Hope's crew stood in quiet amazement, watching the quantum remnants of the cosmic Predator dissolve into complex energy patterns. They had done something no civilization had ever achieved. Eldarin representatives approached the human spacecraft, their communication systems struggling to process what they had witnessed. Humanity had not just saved them. They had rewritten the fundamental understanding of cosmic survival. Captain Hyun Kim stood at the communication interface, his eyes reflecting the complex quantum displays. Dr. Jae Park analyzed the aftermath, her scientific mind already processing the incredible implications of their victory. "You solved a problem we believed was unsolvable," the lead Eldoran representative communicated, their language translated into a mix of mathematical equations and emotional resonance. Humanity had demonstrated something beyond traditional warfare, pure adaptive intelligence. Su Jin's engineering systems continued to hum. The Hope was more than a spacecraft now. It had become a living testament to human potential, a complex, adaptive system that could solve problems at a fundamental quantum level. The Eldoran civilization began sharing their accumulated knowledge. Technological blueprints, scientific understanding, and cultural insights became an immediate exchange. Humanity had proven itself not just as survivors, but as potential galactic partners. Dr. Yun Choi discovered something extraordinary in the data exchange. The cosmic predator wasn't just a threat. It was a complex quantum system that had been evolving, consuming civilizations as a form of fundamental research. Humanity's approach had essentially solved its core operational mechanism. Sung Ho Lee managed the communication channels, translating the complex exchange into understandable human terms. What was happening was more than a rescue mission. It was first contact on a level no one had anticipated. News reached Earth slowly. Traditional communication systems struggled to process the magnitude of what had happened. A small research team from Seoul had essentially changed humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The Hope began its return journey, carrying technological insights that would transform human civilization. Quantum communication systems, adaptive engineering principles, a fundamental understanding of cosmic problem-solving that challenged every existing scientific paradigm. Eldoran representatives would accompany them, beginning the first true intergalactic cultural exchange. Humanity had proven itself not through military might, but through creativity, adaptability, and pure problem-solving intelligence. Dr. Park realized they had done something unprecedented. They hadn't just saved a civilization. They had demonstrated humanity's potential to solve problems at a fundamental quantum level. The cosmic predator wasn't destroyed. It was essentially reprogrammed through pure intelligent interaction. Captain Kim understood the deeper significance. This wasn't just a military victory. This was a demonstration of human potential, the ability to approach complex problems with creativity, adaptability, and a fundamental belief in solution-oriented thinking. The technological exchange would transform multiple scientific disciplines: quantum mechanics, space exploration, communication technologies, engineering principles. Everything humans understood about their capabilities would be fundamentally rewritten. As the Hope approached Earth's solar system, the crew knew nothing would be the same. They were returning not just as researchers, but as the first true representatives of humanity's potential in the broader cosmic community. Su Jin's engineering systems continued to analyze the encounter. Each quantum pulse, each energy pattern was a complex mathematical lesson about adaptation, creativity, and intelligent problem-solving. The Eldoran civilization had sent a desperate transmission. Humanity had responded with something far more powerful than a rescue mission. They had demonstrated a fundamental approach to survival that challenged every existing understanding of cosmic interaction. "We didn't just save them," Captain Kim said quietly to his crew. "We showed the universe what humanity can do." The Hope moved through space, carrying with it the promise of a new era of human potential. Not as conquerors, not as survivors, but as problem solvers, as a civilization capable of understanding and solving challenges at the most fundamental levels of existence. The universe watched, and humanity had just announced its arrival on the galactic stage.